And your personalities balance each other out.
Well, it's back as teenagers, Randy was more the outgoing one, and I was more, I was, I guess, the shy one. It's almost like we've reversed roles now. You can't shut me up, and he looks at me like I'm crazy. But it's where I wasn't told that he was to take the lead. It was just a natural thing. Randy was the leader. There should be a leader in a team, and it's usually the man. So it's our personalities. It just worked. I try not to analyze it because it has been 45 years and we're still together, which is something so special to me. It's just that whatever it is, we had it and it worked, and I cherish it. I cherish, our skating career. I cherish our friendship, all of it. It's been wonderful.
It sounds like you're almost talking about a marriage. The secret to a good marriage, you hear people talking about, well, it is a secret. It's something that's almost beyond them that's holding that pair together. But one
Right.
of the things Dave and I also noticed when we were watching all of your old tapes on YouTube, researching for this interview, was that, Tai, you were wonderful under pressure. You were just really amazingly clutch as an athlete. So I'm wondering where that came from. Could you attribute that to your training with Mr. Nix? Was
Yes.
it just a bunch of run-throughs, or is that something that you just have as a person where you're really great under pressure?
I think it's a combination of everything, but you hit it when you said a bunch of run-throughs. We did a bunch of run-throughs. We did, I don't know if you did this when you were training, but we did double run-throughs.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, our routines were 5 minutes long. So it had to do with the great training beforehand, doing your run-throughs, and just being consistent. Mr. Nix is all about, and still is about, consistency, as we see in Ashley. The improvement. She was never a consistent skater, and now she's like a different person. That's Mr. Nix. And under pressure, it's knowing going into a competition that you've had the great training beforehand. That all plays a part of it. You have that confidence going in that we've done this number a gazillion times. Let's do it one more time. So that's where I have to applaud Mr. Nix, and that's one of his strengths, is just the consistency with the training.
I guess what was Sasha's problem then? Because Mr. Nix was so, drilling the consistency, and that's the one thing she seemed to lack. And sometimes he said to, Mr. Nix tried to act like she was running the show, where everyone else who's ever been coached by him talks about, that discipline. So do you have any insight into that relationship? Or?
I don't know Sasha that well. I only know from what Mr. Nix has said in interviews, and it was shocking. It's like we would never get away with that. She kind of broke, she broke down a barrier with him. And I think also as Mr. Nix got older, it all changed, which is normal. I think she's a strong personality. Sasha is. So it's, I don't know. I can't relate because we weren't allowed to do that. And there's a lot of it is respect for your coach, which I see lacking now in some young skaters. I look at them, it's like we would never, ever get away with that. We would be sent home if we ever talked back, if we ever kicked the ice, if we ever stopped in the middle of the program. We were done for the day. You might as well take your bag and head home. So it's the mentality's different now with the young skaters. Lazy, some of them, yes. Laziness I see. I don't know. It's just it's all different. I don't see the intenseness that we had in the 70s and the 80s, and I see that in other sports, and I see it in everyday life with teenagers in general. It's just different.
How important was Mr. Nix's experience and really trusting in his experience when you were kind of competing against the Russians successfully, for the first time?
Mm-hmm. Well, what was the question again? Sorry.
I guess how important was Mr. Nix's experience and like trusting in his experience? Because you broke so many barriers doing the first triple sow, throw triple sow. So
Right.
how much did you have to trust in his experience, in his planning?
So much trust in Mr. Nix, and just we knew we were with the best pair coach in the U.S. We knew that he had a great team before us, Ken Shelley and JoJo Starbuck. We learned by watching them. We came right into the picture as they were leaving in 1972 for the Olympics in Sapporo. So we got to watch them train. And like I said before, to me, it's all about respect. Respect for your coach, respect for, of course, for your parents, and respect for your sport. You know, it's a great sport. If you treat it nicely, it will treat you nicely. And we learned that from an early age.
I guess, how did you feel that you and Randy stacked up against Irina, Rodnina, and Alexander Zaitsev? You know, in 1980, you guys were definitely the more artistic pair with the beautiful presentation. And you also had, you know, the throws, which they didn't have. I know that they had a throw, a split triple twist. You know, I guess, how did you see, you know, your two pairs matching up?
Two different types of teams. They were the athletic team. And Irina Rodnina, when you watch them skate, I don't even remember her partners. You watched Irina. I mean, she was a phenomenal athlete, and, you know, she just kept winning. She just kept winning. So she was almost in a league by herself. And then there were Tai and Randy, the balletic team, who, you know, tried to combine the athleticism, what we had, what we were capable of doing, with the artistic side. So they're, you know, two different. I would hate to be a judge. I really would. I'm sure it was tough. It's like, who do you want to go with? And that was the big question mark with what happened in Lake Placid, and with our story, it didn't happen because of Randy's injury. So, and that's our legacy, that it didn't. What could have been.